What's up, everybody? It's your girl Leah,
It's your boy Aaron.
and together we are LA
LA
Love.
Love.
So, today we are going to be just discussing how we fell in love with each other, our first date, who said I love you first.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to start off by picking your brain. Hey, picking your brain. Hey. Hey, picking your brain. So, just digging deeper into my past, before I even met Arin, I had a couple of relationships that did not last, obviously. And you did the same, right?
Yeah, I had a couple
Tell me about
relationships.
your last relationship.
Oh man.
What happened with that? And what led you to Christ and what led you to me?
Well, in my past relationship, I have to say that it was me being too involved in trying to find the right woman, trying to make something work that really wasn't working. And at that time, I was looking for a wife. I was looking for somebody to start a future with. I think I kind of forced it a little bit. I think also in her case, it was the same. So we try to find a way. It was like artificial love, but it just stemmed from just us messing with each other. It really wasn't nothing solid there. So and I don't know. I was in the world at that time, and I didn't have the right mindset or the right concept of what a husband and wife was.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my mother and father was very successful in their marriage, I just never. I looked at that as something I wanted, but not really followed the blueprint to how to build a successful marriage or how to have a wife. And so it's a lot of things that I took, and I should have just left it alone, but I just kept trying to make us work.
I can relate on that. I felt like in my relationship, I was in a relationship for 6 years. And I truly thought that this guy was the one for me. I prayed and I asked God to show me if this person was the one. And I felt that he did. But I later on realized that it was just me wanting it, and it wasn't really God. He was actually telling me all along that he was not. But I later on, after the relationship ended, realized God, when I accepted the fact that he was not my husband, because it still took me a while, even after we broke up, because I kept thinking in my mind we was going to get back together, because we really didn't have any issues. But the main issue was the failure for him to commit. And I played my role in that because I allowed him to continue to date me. Ladies, we do that. We give the guy all of the benefits without the commitment. And that's what happened. I gave him all of the benefits that comes along with a marriage. I tried to show him exactly what type of wife I could be. I tried to just give him all of me, and that's where I messed up at, because I didn't even give all of me. I didn't know how to love someone the right way, because I truly did not value and know how to love myself genuinely, because of the relationships and different things that I went through in my past. But it took for me to have to break up with him in order for me to get that relationship with God, and for him to fill those empty voids that I had, that I was seeking for my boyfriend at the time to fill. And that's what we do, ladies. We have this emptiness, and we think that if we get into a relationship with someone and fall in love, they can fulfill that emptiness. And that's not the case. I can tell you, I've experienced it. And even though you have your good times and you feel like, some days you're on cloud nine and he's just everything to you, he's not, because he cannot fulfill the void that God has actually reserved, especially for himself. There's a void in every one of us that God can only fulfill. No man can fulfill that, and he did that on purpose. So I had to let go and let God. And once I did that, I was able to. God showed me how to love myself, how to love Him, how to put all of my all in Him,
Mm-hmm.
and by doing that, He actually kept me. He kept me for a long time. As I mentioned in my last video, he kept me from fornicating. He kept me from just dating the wrong type of guys. But like I said, I purposely said I'm not dating anyone else unless they're my husband, because I was serious about that. I didn't want to waste any more time. I didn't want to waste no time.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. And you know, that's kind of like the same situation that happened to me in my relationship. It made me steer away from trying to find somebody else. You know, from having unsuccessful relationships where I thought they were the best for me, especially when I was like less understanding. I lacked the wisdom. You know, I was maturity. I thought it was okay for just to be like everybody else, you know what I mean? So I was happy with having that and not seeking the commitment. But as I got older, I wanted commitment. And, you know, I knew I just couldn't go off the same basis of a relationship I've had in the past if that's what I'm looking to do. Is if I'm looking to be married, if I'm looking to be with this person for the rest of my life, I definitely can't, you know, base it on the basics of just a dating relationship. You know, we just gonna be together for all these amount of years, and you know, never cross that threshold of committing fully and getting married. So I was like, nah, let me step back right quick. Let me stop putting my hands and meddling with the situation. Let me let go and let God, you know, anchor my ship. You know what I'm saying?
So from that point, when you decided to let go of your past relationship, how did living the single life feel? Because I know that from what you told me, you had women, and you was always in a relationship or with some woman. But how did that feel, just being with this single?
Well, there was moments in my life where me being single before I really got into learning who God was and taking that time to really seek the kingdom, you know, really try to better my life. Like those moments when I was single, when I was younger, it just felt good because I had the freedom to just be where, when, with whoever I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? But as I got older and as I slowed down a bit, you know, one thing that really set me right was the life experience, a life and death experience, I have to say, of my car accident. You know, I was guilt. I was starting to feel guilty for the things I was doing. I started to feel remorse, and you know, I knew I was changing. I knew my inner self was changing at that moment. So a lot of things that I was doing at first, I started to feel guilt for. It wasn't just the headless monster no more. You know, I was becoming more thoughtful and more heartfelt about my actions. Like, hey, I'll just do that. Why did I do that? They just started living with me. And you know, I think God really got my attention when it met the head of me having my car accident, and it was just like, okay, now it's really time to buckle down.
That was like a wake-up call.
Yeah, it definitely was, because I was reaching at one point, just reaching to still be a part of the world. Like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, just being stupid. Like that time I was giving away from everything, away from everybody. I still was trying to reach and be out there, but when God gave me that life and death experience, that's when I put a halt to all of it and just said, you know what, it's just gonna be me and God, and I'm gonna get my mind right.
So you find yourself alone. You had your own apartment,
townhouse.
Okay.
No.
Me. Okay.
It's a difference. It is.
Yeah, you did have a townhouse. Yeah, you did. And you know, cooking, cleaning, doing everything for yourself. How did that feel?
Well, it felt good. I wasn't worried about it. I didn't trip on it. I mean, I gotta feed myself. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep my house clean. I gotta do what I gotta do for myself. So
right.
I didn't trip on it. You know, I wasn't looking for a wife to be a maid. I was just like, I got this. I ain't worried about it. You know, whoever comes into my life at this point, I'm gonna make sure that I get to know her, what she stands for. You know, make sure we have attributes that match. You know, at least we on the same level. We still, you know, we're going forward, and she she got to be real, she got to be honest, and she has to love unconditionally, you know. And one of the requirements for me was just knowing God. Let her know something about God, you know.
So do you feel that you needed that time? Because you know, sometimes we don't give ourselves time after we break up with someone to heal from that relationship before we jump into another one. Do you feel like you gave yourself enough time to heal to the point that you wasn't looking for a woman, like you said, you was all about God, to fulfill that emptiness, that loneliness, that void?
Well, what I have to say, truthfully, all right, no, get back to the point. I felt like I was transitioning even when I was in a relationship. I felt like I was getting to that point as my character changed, my heart started to change. I'm not 100%, you know, but I still felt like that was that time period where life started slowing down for me. I started just differing from just being out there one night stand, messing around, just trying to get something, and getting into being more in a relationship as time went on. And I was in long-term relationships, if you consider a year, 2, 3 years, all that kind of stuff. So I see myself wanting that bridge from long-term relationship to a commitment of marriage and being steady. So I was changing during that time. I just wasn't changing in the right way. You know, I was good, but I wasn't God good. You know, I wasn't steady with God in my life, but I felt like I needed to be a better man so I could be a better husband to somebody if I were to.
Yes. You say that again, baby. Say it again.
I felt like I needed to be a better man.
Yeah.
And God.
Yeah.
Me a better man, so I could be a better husband.
Yes.
You know, you gotta think about that a lot of times before you bring something to the table. You know, you can have the finances, you can have the best job, you can be doing all of this, that, and the third, but if you ain't got God or something that you know you can inspire your wife to have, and you bring something to the table that she will be happy that you got as part of who you are, man, you ain't doing too much. Okay.
So do you feel that when you met me, you gave you was healed from your past relationship and you were ready to start that potential lifelong commitment with?
Yeah, I felt I was ready. And it was the graduation of me leaving my ex in my past relationship and just getting that time period to just be like, man, you know what? The next time I go at this, I'm gonna make sure that it's the right woman for me. You know what I'm saying? I had a checklist in my head, like I'm gonna make sure the right woman for me. If you will, God. I had to pray for permission. I couldn't just be like, oh yeah, this one, I'm gonna do this. This me.
Right.
Because I done that in the past, thinking that was the right way of doing it, and it failed me because I was not letting God guide my decisions.
Right.
You know, or guide my heart. You know, and I said this time around, I know from my past relationships what I like, what I don't like. I'm gonna make sure that I find the woman for me, and I'm ready to make that commitment. So I'm not gonna waste time. You know, I'm not gonna just rush into it, but I'm gonna know for sure. Like, yeah, I can do this. This is the one. She's right. God, what you think? God, give me the rest. Give me the rest to know.
And you know what? I remember you telling me while we were dating, you said that you just know, because you guys, we got married pretty fast. Things moved pretty fast.
Yes, it did.
And we have been together for 5 months. We have been married for 2 months. But my husband here told me that he knew that I was his wife, because I had a time frame in my head. I wanted to, at least give it a year. But my baby said, waiting a whole year to marry you is like waiting for something that I know I already want. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, I explain this, right? As I said, judging from my past relationships leading up to that point, I think trial and error is sometimes the best teacher. And my trial was me being too persistent in trying to make something work that wasn't going to work. I was going off an idea of like, okay, this is what I got to do for my wife, and if I do this, she gonna do this. I just had a thought that this is just gonna work because I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. But if someone is not willing to make that commitment with you, lifetime or otherwise, you just doing a lot for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you got to really get to the point where you got someone that just mirrors you in a relationship. If you can see yourself in your wife, and she's supposed to be your better half, she's supposed to be the body to the head, you got to understand that it's important for her. And God says she's a helper, but it's important that you find someone that you have something in common with. That is the most important thing. I don't really believe in that opposites attract stuff. I don't. That's worldly to me. But you gotta find someone that's like yourself. And it might be hard too, because you might not like yourself once you get into it. You know what I'm saying? You might be like, oh, okay, she's just like me. She ain't taking that. I ain't taking
we got a lot in common.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a gift more so than a curse. And that's a good thing, because then somebody like yourself, as her being a helper to man as God has created her, she's able to tell you about yourself. She's able to know about you. She's able to read you in the right way. She's able to think about things you're thinking about before you even let it out your mouth. So she's like a right hand, and having that kind of, that's right.
All right, so you asked me something. Because I know.
All right, so let's get to it, right?
Okay.
All right, how was our first date? First. I'm sipping this tea now. I'm speaking old English. First date. First date.
I'll talk like that to me.
No. How was I first date, madam? And what happened?
It was a wonderful experience.
Now I sound Jamaican. Okay, I can't.
Okay, okay.
Sound like from the islands.
We're not gonna edit this out.
Alright, well.
Okay, so
how was our first date, guys? Tell me about it. Juke. Tell me about the dance and all, and how we did we did the good or not? Huh?
Oh.
How was our first date, lovely?
Okay.
My island guy.
I don't know how to talk like that.
I don't either. I just came up. I was just...
Okay. He's so talented, y'all.
Alright. So back to me, alright? Arin's back, right? So how would you describe our first date? And what happened?
Okay, so I remember we were not trying to be alone with each other, because the flesh could be like,
come get it.
I haven't been with anybody sexually in 6 years. He haven't in about 3 weeks.
What? Wait a minute.
I'm playing.
That's wow.
I'm playing.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
So it's good.
What was it for real? What was that? What was the time frame? How long were you celibate?
Months, years. I don't know. What was it?
Honestly,
at least 6 months.
Okay,
months.
That's good for you. That's good. Good.
8 months.
Yeah, that's good. So we started out. We didn't want to spend alone time with each other, because we know we both saved, we both trying to do right, we both been celibate, saving ourselves for marriage. So we was not going to, starting out, we were not going to allow our flesh to be tempted and mess around and do something that we would probably regret. So it was Arin's idea to meet up at the park. in a public neutral place, and I was talking to you on the phone, I believe, and this would have been our first time spending some alone time outside of church with each other, outside of texting on the phone, outside of talking. So I'm on my way home, and we're talking on the phone about meeting up at the park, and my tire actually busted, and it busted right next to a park.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like, you know, at that time, I felt like, what a coincidence, because we was going to meet up at the park anyway. My tire busted while I was at the park, but when I told him, he was like, really? Your tire busted? I think you thought that I was trying to not meet up. I think he thought that I was trying to not meet up with him, but I was serious. I'm like, no, I am serious. My tire just busted. I said, you know what? I'm gonna call my roadside assistance. He said no. He said, I'm gonna come and meet you where you are. And mind you, he had just got into an accident and wrecked his car, so he wasn't able to drive his car. So he got on public transportation for your girl. He got on a bus for your girl. So I'm sitting there like, okay. He like, hey, we keeping it real. It ain't no shame. You a man for that. You a stand up. See, that's what made me realize, just like, okay, yeah. I like stuff like that. I like that.
Yeah, I was on the train. I had to transfer it there.
I see. No worries.
I want you to.
Because I know guys that probably wouldn't have did it if they had 5 cars. Well, okay, you got roadside assistance. I see you. Holler at me. Call me back when you ready or when you free. No, he said, I'm your roadside assistance.
Hey, all right, check game.
Okay, I just had a moment.
All right.
So he came through, and he took my tire off. He changed my tire.
Mm-hmm.
He did it. He did that. And I just was really impressed.
Yeah.
I was recording him.
Yeah, I got my Michelin man on.
I was recording him. And his muscles. I was like, now that right there, that just showed me he was determined. So I'm like, okay, he has determination. He has tenacity. He has the willpower. And I'm like, he cares about me.
Yeah.
He cares about me. So I'm like, okay, that was off to a good start. So when we got the tire and everything, we ended up just going to my house, which was right up the street. I didn't want him to come in.
Nothing happened.
No, nothing happened. He went in there, washed his hands, came right out. And yeah, that's what happened on our first date.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's exactly what happened. Now, with me believing that something was happening, it just didn't seem crazy. Let me fix my face and my mouth for this one right here. Right. Take a sip. Hold on. Now, here it is, right? This is after I asked the pastor for courtship.
Mm-hmm.
I've done everything I was supposed to do, right? He tells us. Good. Good.
I'm good.
So back to the point at hand, right? Now I'm thinking, after all of this, I done did everything I was supposed to do. Now it's time for us to go on a date. I'm gonna make sure it's in a public place. Pastor said, don't let it be by yourself. I said, okay, I'm gonna obey. Chain of command. I'm gonna go ahead and get it going. We're gonna go to the gym for summertime. What do you mean
by pastors? Because people don't understand it.
Well, pastor.
Our pastor.
Elder Melvin Campbell, Seen
Oh
it.
wow, you saying his whole name?
Well, y'all can go check it out. CTC, Christ Temple Church. So that's for y'all to go check out. Go ahead, Google search, get do your thing. That's where we go. But let me back to the schedule. So I'm thinking everything is on something else. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I done did all of this and everything. I done I'm thinking of the most public of dates. We gonna make sure everybody's around. We're gonna have all the eyewitnesses having a picnic in the park. It was summertime during that time, so
Summer,
I thought that was quite romantic, and it was something we could do just to get to know each other, sit out there and eat a little bit, and make moves from there. But just so coincidental, I was waiting for her to get off work, and right then and there, I end up talking to her, and she tells me that her tire was flat. Now I didn't believe it. I said, here's the day of. I done waited for you to get off work. I done got off work myself. We gonna meet up, and you tell me that your tire flat. I feel like that was the biggest lie before God. I did, and that was wrong with me. I shouldn't have judged. God forgive me once again for judging. But that's what made me make them moves like I did. I said, let me scrape up some pocket change. We're gonna hop this bus, and we're gonna see what's up. You know what I'm saying? And so I did. I know how to change a tire. You know what I'm saying? Brakes, whatever it is. I ain't learned the muffler yet, but I know a little bit about the transmission. So I got on the bus. I'm about to handle this. We're about to get out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? And hey, shout out to the homie Carlos for let me learn how to change the brakes too. Anyway, it's an LA thing.
Carlos.
What's up, Holmes? What's up, NC? So anyway, get back to it. I got down the street, I got to the park, and I seen the tire was flat, indeed flat. The roadside assistants were taking a cool minute to get there and handle business. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna do what I can do. She didn't have the best car jack, so I was like, I'm gonna just do as much as I can, as long as I can lift it off the ground just a little bit. I can do the rest. I'll turn the tire and use the monkey wrench, whatever she had. I forgot. I don't think it was a monkey wrench or something like that. Anyway, it wasn't what you need for a tire change, but I made it work. So I got it off, took off the tire, got the spare, put it on there, and it was a done deal. So yep, that quick. Because it's not because I was just horny and hot and my flesh was just get it, you gotta have it. It wasn't like that, because she came to my house and left plenty of times. I wasn't even feeling it at that moment. But just saying this is the reasons why, and the reason really why is because I had made a decision in my mind, like, dang, I would marry this woman. I would be with this woman. I'll stay with this woman. If that is the case, I wouldn't mind it, because I'm already feeling like I love her. And from what she showed me in her personality, because some people may take years and months and all of this and dating and courting before they say, okay, I guess so, let's get married. They done courted for 5 years and now they just like, we stuck together, let's do this.
Yeah.
Nah, it was me making a decision quickly, because first of all, I felt that in my heart, and I went to God. Also, I wasn't just aimlessly, making the decision. I was like, man, God, is this the one? Is this what you want me to be? Is this who you want me to be with? And I just felt like at that time I needed to better myself to be a true husband for her once again, because I feel like she's already bringing what I wanted and then some to the table. So it's time for me, if I want this woman to love me as a husband, to respect me as a husband, I need to go ahead and bring my half to the table and let her know she's not making the wrong decision. Because at that point, I already knew, like, this is my wife right here. That's it. She sings, she does music, she enjoys music, she enjoys poetry. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have, because it's a lot there that I find in common with her, and she's a woman of the word. She has her own ministry. She's She's very affluent in the church. You know, that's something I respect. She's a great mother.
Oh.
She's a great supporter of everything I do and then some. You know, I mean, like it's just everything. Everything that she brings to the table is what made me make my decision. You know, and it was something I was looking for and searching for, and I wasn't finding it because honestly I don't think I was looking in the right place. So God gave us the opportunity for us to be at one place at the same time, and church was it. So yeah, I was in the club before I went to the church, and that's probably why I had the success rate I had in the world. Now when I gave myself to God, He blessed me with what I was looking for, which was a wife. So I thank God for that. Right up.
He told me afterwards. And when he told me the first time, before we even had any physical connection with each other, um, when he said it, I felt it. I felt it. But a part of me did not want to believe it because I had this wall up. I had this guard. I'm gonna say guard. I'm not gonna say wall. I'm gonna say I had my guards up. And the Bible does tell us to guard our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very careful. I didn't want to just move too fast, and I didn't want to allow myself to get too caught up into the relationship because I didn't want to take my focus off God. So when he told me he loved me, I was very flattered. I was very happy. I was happy that he told me he loved me, and I was just pondering within myself. After I went home at night, I would think about it. I would, I would like, he said he loved me, and he shows me. It's not that he just said it. He actually shows me that he loves me. He talks about marriage a lot. He's not afraid of commitment. He told me he knew what he wanted, and he was the chaser. I didn't have to chase him, and I just was really comfortable around him. So we both it was just this feeling I never felt. I never felt with anyone else. That just the feeling that you feel that you've known someone your whole life. It's like this feeling like I've known him my whole life and I've only been dating him for just a few months. So, and I prayed about it. I asked God about it, and God told me to welcome him. Don't push him away. Welcome him. Because I know I could have the tendency of doing that out of fear. And I did just that. So I'm happy that we're married now. And I'm happy that I made that decision. I don't have any regrets. The only reason I said I would have took my time and waited, because you really don't have to wait when you know what you want. You really don't. You really don't.
Like kid and candy.
If it's something that God has shown both of you, then I would say talk to your spiritual advisor about it. Talk to your pastor, and get counseling, and then go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have waited because I wanted to go ahead and get a little bit more marriage counseling, before we actually tied the knots. I wanted both of us to get more spiritually in tune individually with God. And I wanted to just do what? Have a nice wedding. It didn't have to be huge or anything like that. Those are things that I would have wanted to do. So that's the only reason why I said I would have waited. But my mind was made up. The decision to marry him was already there. We already had a mutual decision on it. As much as it's just like, okay, let's just do it because I want to marry you anyway. I love you anyway. I see you in my future anyway. So we did it. And here we are. So thank you so much. If you have made it to the end of this video, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. The next video, let's do a challenge. Let's challenge each other and see how well we know each other in our next video.
I'll put you to the test.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah,
so I'll come up with some questions. You come up with questions, and we just see how well we know each other.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
So what does the winner get?
That's a good question.
Cash always works for me.
Well, how about a cash gift? Let me make that decision for you. I'm not gonna show you the receipt, but I was kidding. Nah,
you got jokes.
The gift, yeah.
Oh, just make me dinner or something.
Yeah, I can do that.
No, breakfast.
That's too easy.
Okay.
Anybody can fry some eggs, bacon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, not anybody, but you make good breakfast. So that's why I said that.
I appreciate that.
You make good breakfast.
Yes.
So yeah, stay tuned. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. There's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some very informative things that we're going to bring to you in a male and female's perspective about relationship, love, commitment, family. We're going to have some maybe cooking videos. We're going to have some vlogs. Right now, we're both on the health kick, working out at the gym. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to reach a certain goal. All right. I'm gonna have you all over me everywhere. You already all over me. So it's gonna be definitely worth watching. So until next time, thank you so much and peace out.
Deuces.